The race session is at Zandvoort Circuit Park in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Tommy Glad entering the pits is 14th. Janine Glad entering the pits is 14th. Brendan Griesel entering the pits is P14. Peter Grobler entering the pits is 13th. Simply Racing entering the pits is P14. JD Ellis from South Africa is 6th. Tommy Glad from South Africa in Gerlachbocht is P9. Brendan Griesel from South Africa is 4th. Peter Grobler in Slitmakerbocht is 4th. Dylan Conway from South Africa in Skylook is 5th. Tommy Glad in Bach 9 is P9. Van Staten from South Africa in Bach 10 is 10th. Herman Van Staten passed Tommy Glad passed Herman van Staden for 9. Herman van Staden in Kumhovisht is 10th, 0.1 behind Tommy Glad. Herman van Staden passed Tommy Glad for 9. Tommy Glad is 10th, 0.1 behind Herman van Staden. Herman van Staden in start finish is P10, 0.1 behind Tommy Glad. South Africa in Gerlachboog is P11, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Leon van Linden passed Herman van Staden for P10. Mike Geer from South Africa in Hunsrug is P2, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Elleroux. Brendan Griesel is P5. Mike Geer in Bach 10 is second, 0.1 behind Jeffrey Elleroux. Mike Geer passed Jeffrey Elleroux for first. Jeffrey Elleroux from South Africa in Hansdorpsbach on lap 2 is P2, 0.4 behind Mike Geer. Peter Grobler in Kumhovisht is third, 0.4 behind Jeffrey Elleroux. In start finish is 5th, 0.1 behind J.D. Ellis. Jeffrey Elleroux in Gerlachboog is second. Dolkhoff entering the pits is P10. Brendan Griesel in Hunsrug is P5, 0.4 behind J.D. Ellis. Dylan Conway in Hunsrug is 9th, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. Griesel is P5, 0.3 behind J.D. Ellis. Jeffrey Elleroux in Hansdorpsbach is second. Griesel in Kumhovisht is P5, 0.3 behind J.D. Ellis. Dolkhoff exiting pits. Jeffrey Elleroux in Tarzanbach is second, 0.4 behind Mike Geer. Griesel in Gerlachboog is P5, 0.4 behind J.D. Ellis. Dylan Conway exiting pits. Jeffrey Elleroux in Slotmakerbach is second, 0.3 behind Mike Geer. Brendan Griesel on lap 4 is 5th, 0.3 behind J.D. Ellis. Jeffrey Leroux is P2. Jeffrey Leroux passed Mike Gear for P1. Brendan Griesel in Hans Ernst Bach is 5th, 0.4 behind J.D. Ellis. Dylan Conway is 10th, 0.5 behind Herman van Staden. Herman van Staden in Hans Ernst Bach is P10. In Gerlachbocht is 5th, 0.2 behind Brendan Griesel. Mike Gear is 2nd, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Leroux. J.D. Ellis is 5th, 0.5 behind Brendan Griesel. Mike Gear is P2, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Leroux. In Aureliu Bach is P3, 1.3 behind Mike Gear. Mike Gear in Tarzenbach is 2nd, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Leroux. J.D. Ellis from South Africa in Hunsrug is 5th, 2.2 behind Brendan Griesel. Mike Gear in Bach 9 is 2nd, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Janine Glad from South Africa is 6th, 4.8 behind J.D. Ellis. Mike Gear in Aureliu Bach is P2. Is 1st, 0.4 ahead of Mike Gear. Mike Gear in Bach 9 is second, 0.7 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Leon van Linden in Bach 9 is P7. Mike Gear in Tartzenbach on lap 8 is P2, 0.5 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Brendan Gryasel from South Africa is 6th, 0.2 behind Janine Glad. Mike Gear from South Africa is 2nd, 0.5 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Tommy Glad is P8. Peter Grobler in Skyblick is 3rd, 3.0 behind Mike Gear. Mike Gear in Bach 10 is 2nd driving a Panos, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Brendan Gryasel exiting pits. Jeffrey Leroux from South Africa in Kumhobish is P1, 0.4 ahead of Mike Gear. Mike Gear from South Africa in start finish is 2nd, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Tommy Glad exiting pits. Dylan Conway exiting pits. Dold Hawk from South Africa on lap 8 is P11. Mastersboat is 2nd driving a Panos, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Is P5. Mike Gear is P2, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Brendan Gryasel in Hunsrug is 7th. JD Ellis entering the pits is 4th. Bugenholz-Vogt is P3. Tommy Glad in Skyblick is P10, 0.1 behind Dylan Conway. Herman van Staden entering the pits is P6. Mike Gear exiting pits. Mike Gear in Gerlachvogt is P4. JD Ellis exiting pits. Leon van Linden in Tartsenbocht is 7th. Janine Glad entering the pits is P3. Janine Glad is 3rd. Herman van Staden exiting pits. Jeffrey Eliru from South Africa in Skyblick is P1. Peter Grobler in Bach 10 is 2nd. JD Ellis in Tartsenbocht is 5th. Jeffrey Eliru entering the pits is P1. Janine Glad exiting pits. Jeffrey Eliru is 2nd, 1.2 behind Peter Grobler. Tommy Glad is 9th. Dylan Conway in Hunsrück is 8th, 0.8 behind Leon van Linden. Peter Grobler is 1st. Jeffrey Eliru exiting pits. Mike Gear in Gerlachvogt is P3, 0.3 behind Jeffrey Eliru. Conway in Kumhobest is P8, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Mike Gear is 3rd, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Eliru. Conway in Hunsrück is 8, 1.5 behind Leon van Linden. Mike Gear in Kumhobest is 3rd, 0.5 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Dylan Conway in Bach 10 is 8th driving a Panos, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Peter Grobler exiting pits. Mike Gear in Gerlachbocht is 2nd driving a Panos, 0.4 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Exiting pits. Leon van Linden on lap 12 is 8th, 1.3 behind Dylan Conway. Mike Gear in Bach 10 is 2nd, 0.1 behind Jeffrey Leroux. J.D. Ellis in Hans Ernst Bach on lap 13 is 5th. Mike Gear from South Africa in Tartsenbocht is P2, 0.5 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Herman van Staden is P10. Tommy Glad in start finish is 9th, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Mike Gear is 2nd, 0.9 behind Jeffrey Leroux. Leon van Linden in Hunsrück is 9th, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. Mike Gear in Hugenholzbocht is P2, 0.5 behind Jeffrey Leroux. From South Africa in Tartsenbocht is P6. Mike Gear in Bach 10 is second. J.D. Ellis in Hans Ernst Bach is P5. Mike Gear in Tarzenbach on lap 16 is P2, 0.3 behind Jeffrey L. Roux. Herman van Staden in Bach 9 is P10, 3.1 behind Leon van Linden. Mike Gear in Bach 9 is second, 0.3 behind Jeffrey L. Roux. Leon van Linden in start-finish is 9th, 0.8 behind Tommy Glad. Mike Gear in Ari Luyendich Bach is P2, 0.2 behind Jeffrey L. Roux. Jeffrey L. Roux in Tarzenbach is second, 0.2 behind Mike Gear. Leon van Linden in Mastersbocht is 9th, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. Brendan Griesel in Slipmakerbach is 4th driving a Toyota, 0.1 behind Peter Grobler. Leon van Linden is 9th, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. The leader has just finished the race. Mike Gear finished P1. Jeffrey L. Roux finished P2. J.D. Ellis is P3. J.D. Ellis finished P3. Brendan Griesel finished 4th. Peter Grobler finished 5th. Dolph Hoff finished P11. Janine Glad finished 6th. Dylan Conway finished P7. Leon van Linden is P8. Leon van Linden finished A. Tommy Glad finished P9. Herman van Staden finished P10. Announcer bot is active. The race session is at Zandvoort Circuit Park in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Simply Racing entering the pits is P14. Brendan Gryesel entering the pits is P14. Peter Grobler entering the pits is 13. Dylan Conway entering the pits is 12. Brendan Gryesel entering the pits is P14. JD Ellis entering the pits is 14. Peter Grobler and Announcer bot is active. The race session is at Zandvoort Circuit Park in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Announcer bot is active. The race Race session is at Zandvoort Circuit Park in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Jeffrey Elderoux from South Africa in start finishes first. Brandon Griesel from South Africa is P3. South Africa who charts and rock is P6. Dylan Conway from South Africa in Kuchenboldsboot is 7. Leon van Linden from South Africa in Hansarog is 8. From South Africa in Slovakia is P10. Jeffrey Elderoux in Skylook is P2. JD Ellis from South Africa in Masters Boat is P4. JD Ellis passed Brandon Griesel for 3rd. Brandon Griesel in Mach 924, 0.3 behind JD Ellis. Janine Black is P6, 0.1 behind Peter Grobler. Dylan Conway in Hansardsbach is 7, 0.3 ahead of Leon van Linden. JD Ellis is P3, 0.2 ahead of Brendan Gryasel. Brendan Gryasel is P4, 0.3 ahead of Peter Grobler. Hunsrug is P6, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Leon Van Veen Skyway is P8, 0.3 behind Janine Black. Brendan Gryasel. Joel Hawk from South Africa is 9, 0.3 behind Leon Van Veen. Tommy Black from South Africa in charts and rock on lap 3 is 11, 0.2 behind Herman Mansey. Jeffrey Elhiru in Hunsrug is P2, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. Brendan Gryasel is 4th, 0.3 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler is P5, 0.2 behind Brendan Gryasel. Mike Gear entering the pits is 14th. Jeffrey Elliott entering the pits is P13. JD. Announcer bot is active. The race session is at Zandvoort Circuit Park in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Jeffrey Leroux from South Africa in start-finish is P1. Brendan Griesel from South Africa is P3. Peter Grobler is P5. Griesel in Eugene Holtzbook is 5th. Peter Grobler in Hunsrück is P5. Slitmakerbach is 5th. J.D. Ellis from South Africa in Skyblick is 4th. From South Africa in Mastersbocht is P5. Janine Blatt lost P5 to Peter Grobler. Dylan Conway from South Africa in Bach 9 is P7. Leon van Linden from South Africa is P8, 0.1 behind Dylan Conway. Tommy Glad from South Africa in Hans Ernst Bach is 9, 0.1 behind Leon van Linden. Mike Gear from South Africa is P2. Mike Gear passed Jeffrey Leroux for P1. Jeffrey Leroux in Kumhovish is second, driving a Mercedes-Benz, 0.3 behind Mike Gear. J.D. Ellis in Ari Leeuwendige Bach is 4th, 0.1 behind Brendan Griesel. J.D. Ellis passed Brendan Griesel for 3rd. Brendan Griesel is P4, 0.1 behind J.D. Ellis. Peter Grobler is P5, 0.3 behind Brendan Griesel. Dylan Conway in Gerlachbocht is 6th, 0.3 behind Peter Grobler. Hunsrück is P8, driving a Toyota, 0.5 behind Janine Blatt. Dolt Hoff from South Africa in Skyblick is 9, 0.4 behind Leon van Linden. Grobler in Bach 10 is P5, 0.3 ahead of Dylan Conway. Hans Vogt is 6th. Tommy Glad is P11 driving a McLaren, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. From South Africa in start finish is fourth, 0.2 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler in Gerlachbocht is P5, 0.2 behind Brendan Griesel. South Africa is P8, 0.3 ahead of Leon van Linden. Dolkhoff passed Janine Glad for 7th. Janine Glad in Skyblick on lap 3 is P9, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. On lap 3 is 5th, 0.3 behind Brendan Griesel. Brendan Griesel in Hans Ernst Vogt is P4, 0.4 ahead of Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler in Aurelius Vogt is P5. Peter Grobler is now 9th. Jeffrey Eliru is 2nd, 0.4 behind Mike Gear. Janine Glad in Gerlachbocht is P8, 0.3 behind Herman van Staden. Dylan Conway in Hunsrück on lap 4 is 6th, 0.4 behind Leon van Linden. From South Africa in Skyblick is 8th, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Dylan Conway in Vogt 10 is 6th, 0.3 behind Leon van Linden. Is 8th. Peter Grobler in Vogt 10 is 11th, 0.5 behind Brendan Griesel. Conway in start finish is P6, 0.3 behind Leon van Linden. Janine Glad is P8, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Conway from South Africa in Hunsrück is 6th, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Janine Glad from South Africa in Skyblick is 8th, 0.5 behind Herman van Staden. is 6th, 0.5 behind Leon van Linden. Janine Glad is 8th, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler is P11, 0.4 behind Brendan Griesel. Janine Glad on lap 5 is 8th, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler in Arie Luyendige Bocht is 11th driving a Alpine, 0.4 behind Brendan Griesel. Glad in Skyblick is P8. Janine Glad passed Herman van Staden for P7. Herman van Staden from South Africa in Bocht 9 is 8th, 0.3 behind Janine Glad. Peter Grobler is P11, 0.7 behind Brendan Griesel. Tommy Glad in Tarzanbach is P9 driving a McLaren, 0.5 behind Herman van Staden. Holtzbocht is P11, 0.9 behind Brendan Griesel. Tommy Glad in Mastersbocht is 9, 0.3 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler in Bocht 9 is 11th. Tommy Glad in Hans Ernst Bocht is P9 driving a McLaren, 0.4 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler is 11th, 0.5 behind Brendan Griesel. Tommy Glad in Tarzanbach is P9, 0.5 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler in Tarzanbach is 11th, 0.4 behind Brendan Griesel. Bach 10 is second. Tommy Glad in Bach 10 is 9, 0.5 behind Herman van Staden. Peter Grobler in Bach 10 is P11, 0.4 behind Brendan Gryasel. Mike Gear in Gerlachvogt is second, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Eliru. Janine Glad from South Africa in start finish is P7, 0.1 behind Leon van Linden. Grobler in Tarzenbach is P11, 0.3 behind Brendan Gryasel. Mike Gear in Bach 10 is P2, 0.2 behind Jeffrey Eliru. Bach 10 is fourth, 0.4 behind J.D. Ellis. Leon van Linden in Bach 10 is P7, 0.3 behind Janine Glad. In Kumhovist is P4, 0.4 behind J.D. Ellis. Jeffrey Eliru entering the pits is second. Janine Glad in Kumhovist on lap 9 is P7, 0.6 behind Leon van Linden. Dolph Hoff entering the pits is P9. J.D. Ellis entering the pits is 6th. Janine Glad is now first. Janine Glad entering the pits is 6th. Tommy Glad entering the pits is 8th. Brendan Gryasel entering the pits is P5. Herman van Staden in Gerlachvogt on lap 10 is P1.